Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Price. Here we are at the end of 2025, a lamb of a year. So, I want to do a little bit of review to tie this year into the current ascension energies before we move on to a new year. The energies this month were somewhat nebulous at first, actually. And then they really showed me what we've been building energetically for decades for some of us, but is really pointing to profound shifting that we've been going through recently. Before I do the review, I want to give you the energies for the month. Actually, quick reminder before I do, my teaching schedule is up for early 2026 and it's on super discount through December. So, more information about that in the link below if you'd like to learn crystalline soul healing, which is a profound Lyran healing modality, or light language, a natural healing communication and energy flow that we're all capable of. Okay, into the energies of December. Ariane told me the December energies are Christos, which I thought was an unusual way to term it. And so I looked up the etymology of that word, and it's Greek for the anointed one. It means the same thing as Messiah. Now, we are going to talk some about the master teacher of love, but the term Christos itself is actually more of a title, like captain, rather than a name. He could have been Captain Jesus. Now, I'm actually going to talk details about why they are focusing the energies this way, but they also showed me to look for our teaching moments in this upcoming month, not meaning schooling others on how they should be, but where we can learn about our power of love. And of course, that sometimes means healthy boundaries. It means pleasant interactions or annoying interactions, taking creative risks that can be uncomfortable, but so worth it, giving and receiving. But I just wanted to give you that basic understanding of the energies of this final month of the year of the conduit before I back up just a little bit on what our light body and our heart mind complex are shifting. So I'll return to the Christos energies and what that really means in just a bit. 2024 was the year of becoming wholeness, and Ariane focused a lot in that year on the tri-wave brain flow and how we are moving into a greater spiral understanding and therefore spherical flow, because we're strengthening our light body, that internal mechanism that creates the spherical flow. And that's actually why my healing modality is called crystalline soul healing, because it initiates empowerment within by creating a crystalline energy structure with more coherence and clear, strong energy flow. 2024 being the year of becoming wholeness prepared us for 2025, where our conduit of creative flow is strengthened and clarified even more. And this is the application of the tri-wave brain flow, not just right-left flow, but also back-front or subconscious to conscious or more awareness. And that tri-wave creates more of that creative neutrality. And finally, some clarity came in last month's video of that creative neutrality that we're integrating. 2025 had a lot of purging energy, transformation energy, and yet that also means clarification, preparing us, strengthening us to anchor a clearer and more powerful mental and emotional flow or coherence. Core to this heart-mind coherence, because the tri-wave brain flow is an upgrade of the subconscious and the conscious to integrate the infinite mind. And that potential is actually more aligned with heart frequency, which is your gateway to the infinite. Whoa, Gabriel's horn. Interesting. 2020 coming full circle. So 2025 was strengthening us mentally and emotionally. It was shifting the light body for greater subtle access blend with our physical consciousness. And last month's new beginnings heralds a shift. That is Gabriel's horn. Dani harota kaim padot o koremek tandot umet namda orat akrailerot dan shuk mandot or akraimat numtat kral ramdawa eshuk kamot andot akrail ot amderot samchuruk mondat ir antaurat klal armat ochoramek indiat Damora. Tamor. Well, woo, y'all, I don't know how long it's been, if ever. Light language has just like totally started in the middle of this thing. That's Gabriel's horn. I will put links below to the 2020 information that was coming through with Gabriel's horn. There were so many synchronicities that were profound that came in with that. Even someone in India that had predicted it at that time, and just wow, synchronicities. But it always seemed kind of, well, again, kind of nebulous to me. Like, okay, what does it really mean to us? And yet this density shift that we're going through, where we're at that turning point of more personal critical mass of our subtle energies, and then that flows into the collective through all of these individuals that are focused in this way. And some people do that focus just naturally. You know, that term light worker includes the potential of everyone, but it is just someone who focuses on bringing more light, more love, more consciousness, more coherence, more connection into life. Children do that very naturally. Gabriel's horn. We're the finite touching the infinite with greater awareness and effectiveness. That is the mathematical formula that's called Gabriel's horn that deals with the infinite touching the finite. And then of course we know from a spiritual perspective, Gabriel's horn heralds a connection of the infinite with the finite. Whew. Talk about new beginnings from last month. Whew, now this Christos energy makes even more sense. First, let's be clear about what the anointed one means. There is no one person that is the anointed one. There is not one race that is the anointed one. That is not how life propagates. That is how manipulation and control propagate. Even Jesus would say, I and my Father are one. This is what we all are. Everything that I'm doing, you can do, and more. We are all anointed with consciousness, with divine love, with free will. Of course, in most circumstances in the physical, we have the free will to choose our focus and experience within the realm of conditions that this density is. The Christos energy focus this month is not about you've been anointed, mission accomplished. It is mission accepted, if that is your free will choice. Choose love, because that is what the anointing is. It is love. And we are at a new level of responsibility with our energy. No pressure, Diamond. That's what this turning point is about. We are integrating more of our subtle nature and therefore more responsibility with our subtle bridge, our thoughts, our emotions, our intentions, our creative flow. Now, let's talk about the teaching moments that Ariane showed me, because I know Jesus as the master teacher of love. And I grew up in the Bible Belt. All too often, I experienced people proclaiming Jesus' name to castigate and control or manipulate or put someone down or castigate, essentially. And that didn't feel right to me, even at a young age. So I didn't necessarily have a great impression of Jesus until I had personal experiences. And my most profound one occurred over 20 years ago. And I was doing some intense healing work in my early days of healing. And it was just going a little slower or a little more difficult than I was expecting. And I just kind of unconsciously said, Jesus, help me. I didn't even really mean like, I'm calling in Jesus to help me. But he responded. Immediately, this whoosh, white light just merged with me. And I felt so much love that I started crying instantly. And of course, energy released instantly because I was watching it not fully move, not fully release, and just come back to my field. And once Jesus merged with me and I felt that unconditional, profound love, immediate release. It was a profound lesson for me on the power of love. And we have to apply that into the current physical realm, into every moment of our lives. Because, as we hear from the stories, Jesus would flip a table in the face of hypocrisy and defilement. And is any of that going on today? He never needed to hurt anyone. He would embrace or forgive those that weren't elite or righteous. He would teach people the truth of what was within them, not special only to him. He just knew it. He understood it, and they didn't yet. And we know that there's a lot more to his story, and even Mary Magdalene's story, that the controllers of the agenda suppressed for millennia. But the tables are flipping. Inside out. And that's Gabriel's horn. More love that's within you coming out into this world, into your life, into everything that you touch, into the field of life around us. This anointing, it's natural to us. It's us receiving what is within us and letting it flow out into the world. It's the anointing of love, that you receive it and that you emit it. And that love is infinite. That is Gabriel's horn, the flipping inside out. Finite is touching infinite. That's our turning point. The teaching moments are for those with eyes to see that truth and the ears to hear the proof. What would love do? Would it cherish? Would it protect? Would it reflect? Would it enhance? Would it nurture? Would it improve? Mission accepted. What will you flow? Conduit of love. It's time to understand that all that he did, we can do and more. This is why I'm obsessed with energy healing. We're raising our vibration to be a greater vibration of love, like the master teacher of love, honoring the sacred Magdalene and Yeshua Emmanuel in you, the Christos, the anointed one, the oneness. It's not better than, just better understood and heralding love. Our infinite power to align, to resonate with the divine, and therefore conduit that love to earth into the human experience boldly. From the infinite to the finite. It's natural. It's inherent. If you will inherit the earth with love, the energy of the infinite, the sacred, mission accepted. I was not expecting this one. Oh my goodness. I hope you have a powerful, peaceful, beautiful December, a sweet solstice. Enjoy your family, your friends, the holidays that you celebrate, and enjoy the crystalline soul healing and light language as you choose to accept the anointing of infinite love, because that is who you are. Memearat uakaim charat. Brahma hakremdat al alat nemhaktearot uam. Brahma hokuamachat hakrayamat brawarat dano hormek ankaiwa chonak anturmept awa hnem brawar ankaiwa chona krayamat inat hatsu amcheruk. Kroal haratam uenet makaimak andat tora mashtayama sud kror. Pra tua no. Samuch andot kama ua tan urmdat ua shanot orem akrayamat bran hatak nam chaurat akral hrutoma bremat inine awa uakam chanat ukuam san. Pramot akaimat nondot ua. Somo shumbatandit awaragogua. Ramdat ansut amderut Mnamok ukwarmakrandat nad olel. Chananan sacharamat. Mnamok urmak aima ua. Sumadaktayama. Gamo. Pramo. Damur mrandat. Tsamnon shukr amdat al rananhab ang. Donond okwaram krayam stan utsum charak urut al danano kum akrayamat urad al rananstaimem set sharut okwem kirat gram. Sukwam shaima namurat. Brahmahat nandat okwaramak stayek and tal ranam atsat shairumat nimma. Bror krandat al rananat im. Chananos akrayamat ekiem.